Hey, I went down to a local thrift store, the Ladysmith Healthcare Auxiliary Thrift Store. I spent a massive $2 on this item. It is a Harman Kardon. I believe the model is called Champagne, and you'll see why when we look at the spec sheet. This is model HK695. And let's look at the spec sheet first because you're going to see where there's an issue. So I found the user manual online. This is the unit, and you can see the speakers on the side look like champagne glasses. Uh, they're calling them satellite. But here's the problem. On the speaker on the right side here is the volume control. And I did plug this in, and essentially I did feed an audio signal into it, though not too heavy on the bass. I could barely hear it, and there's no way on this part of the unit to adjust the volume. But we can take a look at their user manual, which is actually very good. It shows the parts. It shows how you to plug it in if you've got a sound card. It shows how to plug it in if you have a different type of sound card. It shows how to plug it in if you've got a fancier sound card. And it shows how to plug it into the computer. The main thing is this black lead doesn't go anywhere on most of the configurations. And then it shows the champagne glasses getting plugged in from the left and for the right. And of course, the right one is the one that has the volume control. Now, when we get down there, how you're supposed to set it up so that the subwoofer is coming at your feet. There's the power button. There's the volume control on the part that's missing. And troubleshooting, but down here in the bottom, the specs. So it's got two drivers for the speakers, the Odyssey. The subwoofer is one 5.25-inch woofer. The satellite speakers, 6 watts per speaker, and the main subwoofer is 28 watts. And it gives the dimensions there if you care. Input impedance is 5 to 10K. And the frequency response, if you had those side speakers, is 35 hertz up to 20 kilohertz. And the crossover is at 180 hertz. So, oh, and it uses a Radio Shack fuse or equivalent, of course. Okay, back to the teardown now. So let's pop this open. It's probably going to slide off. So I probably need to pop these off. Yes, I do. There's one. There's two. There's three. I really like that thrift store. They tend to have stuff at very reasonable prices, especially if they can't test it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws here, and 4 other ones. Let's go after the big ones first. Let's see how deep these ones go. Okay, so they're probably holding that on. So I'm not sure if I need to take these ones out yet. Let's find out if this will come apart. Okay, there's nothing underneath here. No. A bit of prying is in order. Okay, it does look like it's going to come apart. Okay, I'm probably going to have to apply a lot of force, so I'm just going to be off camera for a moment or two. But first I'm going to take these ones off just in case I do need to, since that is not moving around too quickly. Now, that didn't change much, so off screen for a bit. It's being a pain. I better double check that there's nothing underneath these. Well, I can't see why they would. Oh, maybe there is. Okay, closer look. Well, getting almost nowhere there. The screen does pop off though. So, I might have to take it off first. And I did check underneath the foil on the bottom, or at least I ran my finger across it, and I couldn't feel any screw holes there. So, let's see what happens if I go in this way. Trying not to damage the cone. Okay. It's a bit looser now. But yeah, there's nothing underneath these. Oh, off camera again. Okay, obviously the speaker needed to come out first. It required twisting it to a certain angle to get it to come off. So I've got red and black there. I think everything's going to fall apart now. And I did it without damaging the cone. Oh yeah. Got some ties to cut. There's one. There we go. There, it's apart. Well, let's start looking at this from the top down, with little pieces of debris all over the place. Well, that looks like just a simple, well, 3 dials here. Look at all the surface mount parts down there. So, let's try to take that apart. That should be easy. Oh, there's a bit more underneath the hood there than I thought there was going to be. So we got lots of capacitors. We got our dials here, our pots. We have a Toshiba TC9235P. I'll look that up. I'm just going to put this to the side for the time being, and we'll get to the other part. So let's just take this apart. So this has got the hole here, comes around, and then comes over to here. Any reason to take that off? Yes there is. Because it's there. Now this part should just fall off since I undid the screws from below. Okay, so that was actually resting with a seal against the metal there. I can only get this off by coming in from the other side. Let's try taking this off. That's one. That's a two. Okay, there's that piece. Oh, a nice toroid. It just looks like there's some screws holding this board on, plus these connectors. I'm going to pop this off. That one's tight. Yeah, that went in deep. There's power. Now this should just pop out. So yeah, there was one hiding under these. All these other ones, nothing. Gotta hold the far side. Probably would have held in place properly. Are you going to lift now? No, you're not going to lift now. Okay, it's just going to be these things holding it in. Okay, there we go. Well, I'm not going to be putting this back together, so I'll just snip the power there and there. Sneaky ones putting it right there. Okay. I'm going to clean up this mess. Well, for $2 I got a lot actually. Let's just get this detached, make it easier to handle. Oh, wrong way again. Okay, so I'm getting a toroid out of it. A very nice looking toroid. And it says 120 volt AC in 60 Hertz. Output 18 volts AC, 3 amps. Well, I think this was worth at least the $2 that I paid for it. Okay. We have a bridge rectifier here. And there was, power was coming in on this side. So this would have been the 18 volt AC on this side going through the bridge and probably feeding that capacitor at some point. But what other parts do we have on here? CD 4013, CD 4011, CD 4010, I think that's a 5, correct in the corner if I'm wrong, and LM 339, Over here we have BA4560. If I find these things, I'll stick them in the corner. Maybe. We've got a 7530P here. And an assortment of other stuff. Now, this looks interesting in here. Oh, okay. There's a big chip in here. I'll have to take this apart to get at it, but it's using this as the heat sink for it. And then they actually tighten it on there with this piece in here going through to the nut there. And it looks like they used lots of thermal goop. Then we have over on this side, power switch, the fuse. I did not mangle this, so somebody else mangled it before me. Left and right, or right and left. I wasn't sure what that was. They just have it listed as diagonal, D-I-A-G. And I was hoping there would be a simple way for me to just get at the gain, and I don't think that's going to happen. So that little speaker there had quite a few other parts attached to it. I'll probably take a closer look at these in the future. But since this is just a teardown, oh, that's nice and hefty. Is there any markings on it? I can see it's Harman Kardon 320-0001/01 4 ohm 28 watt. Okay, well, that's what you get for $2. I'm not going to complain. Have a good one.